Welcome, everyone. My name is Norm Davey, and I'm here talk to you a little bit today about Tidal Grow Agriscience and one of our key technologies that we came to market with this year called Spectra. I'm actually going to start off by doing a quick introduction to the company. So Tidal Grow Agriscience, based in Bellingham, Washington, US-based company, been around since 2015. Has really evolved to become the global leader in biomolecular engineering and green manufacturing of chitosan-based technology, which is something that's been around for a lot of years, but the tools that we've been able to develop over the last decade to be able to really bioengineer these amazing molecules that come from Mother Nature and convert them into some of the most potent but yet environmentally friendly biopesticides and bionutritional products is pretty amazing, and we'll get into that a little bit. So obviously our mission, our goal really is about creating a healthier population and planet and producing these advanced agricultural solutions, and all of it around the base of us being able to do this without sacrifice, no compromise from growers needing the agronomic and economic benefits that they get from our solution. So a real critical component to it. Our lineup today, we start with our GenMax product, which I encourage you to come to our booth and talk to us a little bit about our seed treatment technology. That's pretty amazing. It is a product that we add into existing F&I programs that really brings a whole other level of performance, but does it in an environmentally friendly way and a very, very low dose application, really easy to use, down to 0.1 ounce per hundredweight of application rates. Really cool. Want you to come down and talk to us at the booth. Oceanic and CFOS are bionutritional products. These are made from upcycling marine waste that comes out of the Pacific Ocean. That's why we're obviously headquartered in Bellingham, Washington on the coast, and we're bringing in this material just like a fertilizer blender does. We have these specific ingredients that we put together and make highly efficient, enhanced efficiency fertilizers, nitrogen base, phosphate, orthophos that we get from processing fish bone, and other key components. So again, please come talk to us about these technologies, because not only do they help build stronger, more resilient plants and higher yields, but at the end of the day, it also has an incredible impact on your soil health by driving abundance and diversity of your native biology that's there, or any biology that you're bringing to the table to that field. So really encourage you to, again, stop by and talk to the team about that. And the product I will talk specifically about today in my 6 minutes I have left is really about Spectra. So Spectra is, the name says it all. It's a spectrum of modes of actions of different chitosan-based AIs that we have developed over years and years of perfecting through our partnerships with third-party scientists around the world. We've brought in some of the most thought leaders in this space of chitosan-based biomolecular engineering. Our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Ramesh, as a world-renowned professor, speaker, scientist in this space, and has done an amazing job to help us to put some of these technologies together. And what's different about Spectra is the fact that it does many different things. It's multimodal. It has the ability to fight pathogens directly, so it actually will control pests and pathogens directly with its mode of action, and I'll explain that in a moment. It has the ability to stimulate and boost yield through an elicitor effect and a specific signaling that it does to a certain type of genes in the plant. And then the third thing is really gets the plant to activate its natural defenses, which is really the cool part of helping to boost Mother Nature's resilience to fight off pests and pathogens. When a plant is exposed, or even the microbiome of your soil is exposed to chitosan, it thinks it's under attack by a chitin-based organism. Can be a fungal pathogen, can be a insect, or can be a nematode. And what happens is a plant will automatically try to defend itself, and it'll kick in an autoimmune response, and it'll start to produce an enzyme called chitinase. And chitinase is a wonderful, wonderful enzyme because it actually breaks down and deteriorates the makeup of anything that's made of chitin. And so chitosan itself has an impact on chitin-based organisms to an extent from the specific AIs that we have in Spectra. So we're getting control there, but we're also seeing, for example, this bacteria, the cell walls of the bacteria is actually made up of chitin. It's it's the second most abundant biopolymer in the world, molecule in the world, found in any exoskeleton organisms that are out there. And we take that chitin, we process it, and using synthetic chemistry and our biomolecular engineering turn it into these products that do what harsh chemistries will do, but in very, very environmentally friendly way because they break down to inerts very quickly in the environment because they originally came from the environment. So we can control the bacteria by breaking down the cell walls and making them unviable. We have specific AI in the Spectra that gives an RNAi specific interference to the protein that's in fungal pathogens. Makes us really deadly on Fusarium. We really have excellent data working in concert with some of our partnerships. One of them specifically, USDA in Albany, California, worked very actively on this and have seen some excellent results in controlling of Fusarium diseases. And many other the different fungal pathogens that are actually built with a chitin-based within their organisms. And the last one, which is a big one, is disrupting the life cycle of nematodes. So when we have elevated chitinase enzyme in the ecosystem, when you have the chitosan-based technology there as well working in concert, you will actually start to disrupt not only the adults, because the adults' mouth parts, for example, are made, the spikelet is made out of pure chitin. So you disrupt that, breaks it down. They're no longer able to feed anymore, and they die. The juniors go through different stages, J1s and J2s, and we've done some third-party research with Virginia Tech and other universities have shown that we've been able to reduce significantly the populations of the J2s through the cycling when we have elevated enzymatic activity going on. And the other big one is the eggs. So as you all know, 6 to 8 weeks, there's new eggs coming all the time with nematodes, and that's really hard to get ahead of that. And we're able to actually, because the eggshell is made up of chitin, we're able to break them down and actually make them no longer viable. So really reducing the populations of that life cycle and breaking things up. And all at the same time is causing a biostim effect to that plant that's growing actively to defend itself, thinking that it's under attack and getting a jump start to any of the potential pathogen activity coming up. So specifically, one disease that we've heard a little bit about in the media here in the Midwest has been around tar spot. Brown rust is a disease we see more in the southern states, and it's actually quite abundant again this year. But because these pathogens have chitin within their organisms and within the way that they grow and multiply, we can actually cause some pretty significant reduction, suppression, control of these pathogens as we apply Spectra into the system. And we find that going after it in a multimodal approach, where we're actually getting after the pests with a existing fungicide program and adding the Spectra to it, the multimodal effect has a much higher impact in control. And I'll show you a little bit of data here that came out of work out of Georgia. So this was a CRO that we worked with there. They did a lot more irrigation on the trials to bring up the incidence of the diseases, and then they applied the standard fungicide that is an industry well-known fungicide, got really good control. As you can see, the untreated over incidence of September 13th to October 3rd went from 20 to 60 plus percent of leaf percent severity of the tar spot. When you use the leading fungicide, there was a pretty significant control there right off the bat on September 13th, but it did come back a little bit over time. When we use that same fungicide, but just for this trial, we don't recommend cutting rates this far, but we actually cut the rate in half. We added Spectra, and we've seen a significant improvement, statistical improvement in control of that disease. So the Spectra is bringing a whole other array of modes of action here to the table, and when you do the cost comparisons and the rates, it's actually very attractive to go after it with a multimodal approach versus just one tool or just a higher rate of the same product. And this is on the brown rust, which is not as big a deal in this part of the world, but in the southern states, it's growing every year. We've seen, again, some pretty significant reduction with the same strategy where we're using it with the fungicide at a reduced rate with the Spectra, and we really got a nice job of getting ahead of it and controlling it all the way down to V7. So ROI, Spectra is a product that fits. We've seen at the price points of corn at that time was giving us about a 3-to-1 ROI. Spectra was a little bit higher priced at that time, but not a bad return for a grower, obviously. And then this is another study that we did actually in Kansas where we looked at Spectra in furrow and looking at dryland corn farming in Kansas, and this was more of a biostim and a resilience type of effect where we actually had it grow through very early on, more actively growing when the Spectra was applied in furrow at time of planting, and it resulted in a nice 4-to-1 ROI there. So there's multiple benefits to Spectra, multiple AIs that we've included in it. Chitosan loves chitosan, so by putting the different AIs together, bringing a whole multimodal package to the table is important part of the value proposition as well. Last and not least, I'm over time already, but real quickly, all our products that we market today, we put a product performance guarantee in place. If a grower wants to try it on large acres across their farm, we will actually back that up with a guarantee. We ask them to provide us data, of course, for us to be able to track it. So we've partnered with Arva Intelligence where they give us the shapefile of the field, they give us the as-applied maps, they give us the harvest data. It all happens through API integration. Can be any platform they're using, My John Deere or FieldView or so on. And that data automatically populates, and then we, at the end of the year, we have a scorecard that shows how we perform versus grower standard and any one of our products. And if we don't at least break even in the technology that they've invested in, we get them a credit back through their retailer for their money back on that purchase. So that's a guarantee, and the whole idea behind that is rapid adoption and really getting growers experience. Because if you do it on one field on your farm, did you really learn a lot? If you do it on 10 fields on your farm without risk, now you really understand where it's going to bring you the most value on your farm and your operations. So we're really a big fan of this, and it's catching a lot of attention. And then we're able to aggregate that data as well and start making better recommendations on where we see our products working even better for our customers. So that's it. I'm over time, so I'm going to stop, but thank you so much for your time, and we'll be at the booth the rest of the day. Stop by, talk to us. Welcome your questions. Thank you.